Good morning, everybody. So I want to show you guys this. We had an accident on the farm a couple days ago. Nobody got hurt. It was fine. Some equipment did get damaged, but like I say, it was an accident. It does happen. There was someone running the disc for me. Extremely dusty conditions. Misjudged their turn and kind of bumped a tree with the disc and the crumbler. And I'll show you some of the damage. As you can see here, the disc gang kind of goes uphill there. The frame got bent of the disc. If you see this part right here, kind of goes out, and it should be in line with this right here. So it got bent out, up, and it kind of twisted a little bit. That's pretty much the significant damage of the disc. Problem we're going to have is this main frame has to be perfectly straight. If it's not straight, we're going to be going through bearings, and this is what they call C-flexes. We'll snap a lot of C-flexes, and the C-flexes are $110 a pop. So that frame has to be straight. We do have a metal fabricating guy coming out supposedly this morning sometime to kind of assess the damage and kind of see what can happen. I'm going to be making some phone calls to find a new axle, some new bearings and things like that for this. Checking the price, the availability, things like that. The next field we're going to, the next farm, we have 125 acres left to do. And that 125 absolutely needs a disc run over it because it's getting the manure spread on it. It's been chisel plowed. It has to be disced. So this is kind of a priority for us right now. The next piece of equipment that got damaged, I'll walk over there to you and show you. This is called a rolling harrow. We call it a crumbler because it kind of crumbles up the dirt. But as you can see, the tongue got bent. It should be about right here. So it needs a new tongue. This guide wheel here snapped off, the axle snapped off. The rim got bent, so we need to replace this whole piece here. Also, this wing is broken, and I'll show you where it's broken at. It's supposed to have a fork here going here, and then this wing tab is bent. So the metal fabricating guy is going to come look at this and kind of give us an estimate on it and stuff like that. This is where we're at. This machine, brand spanking new when we bought it years ago, was $17,000. Brand new. We found a really, really good used one online for $12,000. Like, way better shape than that one's in, even if that one's in working order. So I need to price out a wing, a tongue, an axle, and if any of those add up to close to $12,000, we actually farther ahead by buying the used $12,000 machine and just keeping that one around for spare parts. As far as the disc, a lot of you know, and some of you probably don't know, we've actually been shopping around for a new disc anyway. So we're trying to decide, do we fix this one? Do we just go buy a new one? We found some 2- and 3-year-old discs that are available today if we wanted to go buy them. And then we decided if we buy a new disc. We're going to buy a new disc with the rolling baskets on the disc itself, and that will eliminate the rolling harrow over there completely. So we wouldn't even have to buy that $12,000 one if need be. We could just pull the disc with the rolling baskets on it. So that's where we're at. We're kind of like, we're going back and forth right now. We don't know if we want to just, we were talking about buying a new disc anyway. So do we just scrap this one, buy a new one with the rolling baskets and eliminate the rolling harrow completely? Do we fix what we got and keep rolling? That's where we're at right now. So today, part of my job today is I have to go spray that 55 acres that I planted yesterday. I got to spray it with pre-emergent, but I also need to make a lot of phone calls figuring out prices and availability of parts, because that's also another factor. If we can't get these parts for 2 months, we might be stuck with buying a new disc or renting a disc or something to get us going, just to get us this last 125 acres finished up. So that's where we're at. Accidents happen, I get it. We've all had a, accident here and there. It just sucks, but you deal with the problem and move on. That's how you get through it. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the water truck over, get the well hooked up to it, and while that's filling with water, I can go through the parts book of the disc, get some parts numbers, and see, I don't know if I have a parts book for the rolling baskets. I'll have to look at that, but I can get some parts numbers for that as well, so when dealers open at 8 o'clock, I can start making phone calls. Loading the sprayer now. I did manage to get the parts we need to get the disc up and going. I got those ordered. It's going to be like 2 or 3 days before they get here, but it is what it is. We got those parts coming. As soon as they come in, we can get that disc back together and get back to discing ground. We've got about 125 acres left to run that disc over in order to plant. So we're doing all right. We're still a little on the early side anyway, so it's not the end of the world. It just sucks. I know some of you might be wondering that are new to the channel why I'm spraying bare dirt. This field's been planted, and what I'm doing is I'm spraying pre-emergent. It's a chemical called Galvan, and what it does is it puts residual down on the ground, and it doesn't let weeds germinate and grow and things like that, to give the soybeans a chance to get out of the ground and grow. You still have to spray the beans for weeds in about a month or so, but this just helps, I guess, control the weed pressure is the best way to do it, explain it. There you have it. 45 minutes later, 60 acres is sprayed. Now I need to take the water truck back to the farm and focus on the disc and rolling harrow now. Once we get that stuff squared away, then we can finish the last 125 acres we got to do. So we're real close to being done. Just a matter of getting there. Metal fabricating guy just left. He did a good job here. So he was able to straighten it out. He had to cut just a little bit of a chunk out there, heat it up, get it bent, get it straight, and then weld it on those plates to prevent it from bending again. Now what I need to do is I need to drop this disc gang and get this disc gang torn apart, so when the new disc gang axle gets here, I can put it together and we can go back to disking. I got a feeling that I'm gonna have to take those disc blades off, end up cutting that shaft off, so the rest of the disc blades will come off in the spacers, because I don't see the spacers coming out of there. We'll get her done though. All right, I got the disc gang off. Trying to get that axle nut off. I've heated it with the torch, got it red hot. I've beat on it. I've got 8-foot extension pipes. You can see the pipe there. Still can't get it off. This is my last ditch effort. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what we're gonna do. Well, I got her apart. Now I got to, because I had to use the cutting torches to get that, cut this one end off. It was so bent I couldn't slide anything over it, so I had to cut. I don't know why the camera shut off. That was weird. But anyway, now that I've got it cut off, I have to wait for it to cool. Then I can grind the slag off of it and pop the rest of the discs off. The new axle should be here in a couple days. New bearings and what have you. We'll get her back together, get her put back on. Then we'll be back to farming. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.